manufacturing plants really are very complex and very sophisticated combinations of computers that run automated manufacturing equipment. In terms of manufacturing and thinking about technology, there's actually an interesting convergence of the two. Factory of the future, you have to have a lot of technology. And so the interests and the skill sets, and probably ultimately pay packages, et cetera, I think will look very much alike between Silicon Valley and the tech companies. Maybe not from the Apples that are out there trying to invent the next, breakthrough product, but much of the traditional technology companies, they will be so linked with the manufacturing companies that I think you'll actually see some best practices develop between the two. So you won't have the haves of technology in Silicon Valley and the have-nots of Detroit, who are just the guys that kind of bend steel. It's going to take both of those to produce the connected car, the next, Dreamliner airliner, the next MRI machine, et cetera. So I think we will be forced to think very much the same between tech and manufacturing.
You actually have a new generation of folks coming in to work in this industry and technology, and they're coming from non-traditional players. Historically, a defense contractor or an aerospace company would hire from another aerospace company. That's no longer the case. You would love to have the next CIO of one of the larger aerospace companies will likely come from somebody else like Google or Apple or Oracle or one of the other companies, non-traditional, maybe from an automotive player. There's a whole new generation of leaders coming in this industry. Really exciting time as the industry really modernizes and moves to the forefront.
Used to be you had to hire some workers, you had to have a couple of machines, and you had to have a few customers. Today, the value chain for manufacturing is so complicated. It's filled with technology. And the complexities of dealing with that environment where everything is changing so fast does introduce an element of disruptive complexity.
You're looking at setting up new global operations in places that you've never built anything before. Some manufacturers have fleets of ships or specialized aircraft to move parts around and try to get them to final assembly plants, which in some cases stretch over a mile long, to put massive platforms together, to move commercial production to India or China, or on the defense space, they're looking at Asia Pacific, then they're looking at other parts of Europe and other parts of the world, to now final assembly and build out their product.
It's automation, it's innovation, things are moving so quickly that you need to be around clusters of manufacturers and suppliers and R&D scientists and companies that you could take advantage of the rapidly changing pace in innovation, et cetera.
One of the new capabilities that companies have is for model-based design or model-based engineering. And what that means is we can electronically design products in a computer, test those products, and rapidly iterate those products over and over and over again in an electronic state without building prototypes. When you combine that with new technologies like 3D printing or rapid prototyping, an engineer can now have a computer on their desktop where they can design a product and a 3D printer on their desktop where they can actually build a prototype and test it out in real time and see what it looks like.
How you communicate demand signals, how you decide what part you're going to produce today versus what part you produce tomorrow based on market demand. All of this is being enabled by technology that drives both machines, it drives tools that help businesses make better business decisions around decision support, artificial intelligence, data and analytics, etc. But the real component is if you're going to work in a factory, you need to look a lot like a scientist or a technology expert or an engineer. Those are the jobs, those are the skill sets that are required to run these highly sophisticated, complex computers called factories.